Hey guys, so tonight for dinner, I was watching some YouTubers and this was, I think, Sister stuff. I don't have all the ingredients, but I was inspired to use what I have in my own house, some kind of like salsa or taco chicken. I have a rotisserie chicken that I pulled all the meat off the bone. Not rotisserie, I'm sorry. I cooked this in the Instapot. So we used some the other night. This was the rest of it, which I added to. So this is like two chickens that I had done in the Instapot and just saved all the extra meat. So now it's a whole bag. And then this one was salsa chicken that was extra as well for whatever I made it for. So I'm going to add that to my slow cooker. And I'm going to pull some stuff out of the pantry to just zhuzh it up, as they say. And I guess we'll have like chicken tacos or burritos. I also have some frozen white rice that we can use up as well. So the people in this house have options tonight. So I added the chicken. I added that what's left of the salsa chicken and just half of that bag of the the Instapot chicken that had no seasoning to it. And then I left some in here because Michael and Sean like their tzatziki wraps. So left that for them so they could have a lunch because they haven't had that for a while. And then I'm adding a can of corn, which we got from that community pickup. And in Six Sisters stuff, she said leave the water in it because you want some moisture. So we're going to have corn. And then I also have a bag of frozen white beans that I had made from dry. So I don't have black beans. Beans on the floor now. I don't have black beans, but I'm going to add the white beans. They might mush up, make the sauce thicker, maybe. Maybe the boys won't detect it. And then I'm going to add some taco. So I'm not actually adding salsa because I have a son that when it comes to the tomato base and the spicy stuff, his stomach's been giving him an issue. I'm also going to add adobo, give it more garlic. And adobo, this spice blend actually has some salt. The taco one doesn't. That one I make myself with cumin, chili powder, and coriander powder. And then this one was a spice blend from the Urban Market. And that's it. See how that comes out. I'm going to set it on low. Should I set it on low? Maybe I should set it on high. Since it's cooked, I'll set it on high for 3 hours. Yeah. Okay. I guess. I'm still debating what I should do it for. Let's set it on high for 3 hours if I need to. It should be fine. It's all pulled apart chicken. They were thawing, but they weren't completely thawed. And it's already cooked, so high for 3 hours. So the chicken is looking good, but I had to add water. I added 1.5 cups of water because it was looking really dry. I don't have tomato sauce, which I would have loved to. And like I said, my son doesn't want me to add tomatoes, kind of, because he gets a lot of stomach issues with tomato stuff. So I added water. I needed to put some salt, and I don't taste the taco seasoning that much, so I'm going to add some more taco seasoning. Yeah. Oop, need 2 hands for that. But it looks like it's coming out. The chicken just started shredding. Oh, thank you, honey. Okay.
Don't honey me.
Why, you mad at me? You mad at me? All right. There we go. Wow, I made a lot more chicken than I thought. I didn't need to make this much, but oh well. We have a lot of tortillas, the white flour ones, so these could be lunches as well. I need to add more taco seasoning. I don't even see the white beans. They're just disintegrated. And that's that. So I shredded cheese. Got some lettuce and tomatoes. There's the meat. And any extra meat I can make chicken spaghetti with. My plates. They pulled out mammoth burrito wraps. Then over here, we got some white rice, sour cream, and salsa. Tonight's dinner is meatballs and spaghetti. Got my water boiling. There's meatballs there. I had to make sauce. So I actually have some meatballs in here. Costco meat. I made half of it meatballs because we love meatballs and spaghetti. I actually had to borrow spaghetti from our neighbor, one of our friends, because there was no pasta in Costco when I went. So I don't have pasta. So he had spaghetti. And I'm going to make some garlic bread with the ciabattas. That's dinner tonight. And there's dinner.
Cuts of cheese.
Spaghetti and meatballs. Broccoli. I got some garlic bread out. And Parmesan cheese.
Yes.
Yes.
Cheese.
Guys, dinner tonight is going to be easy peasy. This garlic chicken from Birdseye that we got from Costco. I bought it years ago. So I have it in this pot. Hopefully it doesn't stick. It's not Le Creuset, but it's the, what do you call it? The Home Shopping Channel QVC equivalent that I received for Christmas one year from my mother-in-law. So I'm going to see if this does no stick. So you add the whole bag with half a cup of water. But our friend said there's never enough chicken in there. Although I do see a good amount of chicken. But in the oven, I put the crispy chicken strips from Tyson. Because this was the only chicken they had at Costco when we went. So I bought some Tyson chicken strips. That's dinner tonight. Oh, look at that. It's ready. And Sue Cathcart. Look at this. It's not sticking. Thank you so much for the advice. I think I'm going to get rid of that other pot. And these came out. So I'm going to serve it up. Eating in shifts today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically.
But yeah, that's dinner. We had this like years and years ago. So it was,
It was overdue.
It's overdue, but it's also a nice, easy, quick meal that we grab since things aren't as stocked as they used to be. So, bon appetit, guys. Dinner tonight. Here is that second half of all the meatballs I made the other day. So the other half, we had spaghetti and meatballs. So then these I froze. And then I have some egg noodles, an onion, and this beef bouillon. So I think I'm going to make like a beef stroganoff. I do have sour cream. I think that's what you put in it. But I'm just going to saute some onions. I'm going to make the brown gravy, have the meatballs simmer and all that, and then add some sour cream, thinking about it, and pour it on top of egg noodles with a vegetable. That's dinner tonight. So I have some avocado oil in there. The pot is hot. That's my Le Creuset. This one I had gotten at an outlet I think it was off of was it the Tanger outlets in Riverhead? I think so. Yeah, I fell in love with it because Giada de Laurentiis had it. And so even though it was an outlet, I still spent a lot of money. I think it was like 110, which is really good for that pot. But then out of sheer laziness, because it weighs a ton, I don't use it, and I should use it. So thank you, Sue, for giving me that advice of using my nice, more pricier pots. That's why I bought them, right? And they don't stick. Why did I go ahead and buy cheap pots? And I'm going to throw some onions. I might have chopped too much. Nah, you can never chop too much, right? Throw that in there. Oh my God, they made me cry. Onions are so mean. They made me cry. Mean onions. All right, I need 2 hands for that. So I'm gonna add some salt. Sorry. There we go. Some salt. Ooh, smells good already. There we go. Maybe that's a little too high. Lower it a little bit. And let me add the rest of the onions. So those onions are getting nice and translucent. Now add the meatballs, frozen and all. These meatballs were really good in my marinara sauce. But now we're going to try brown gravy. I was thinking about IKEA. They always have these stroganoff meatballs. And looking in the pantry, I saw I only have egg noodles. And that's it. I gotta go pasta shopping. So I was like, yeah, why not? Recreate. I have sour cream from Costco. I have that stuff. Make more brown gravy with. Let's do that. I used to take the boys there during the summer. There's one in Hicksville, and so we lived in Ronkonkoma. So when the twins were little, I'm like, yeah, let's go to IKEA for lunch. And we would just go on a hot day and stay in the air-conditioned store and walk around. I get some ideas with decorations and stuff like that. Sometimes buy a little thing or two. That's where I got my metal bowls from for like $3.99. Those over there. Meanwhile, I think Pampered Chef was selling them for like $75, and they've lasted me like 15 years. And then we would go to lunch. $1 for a little ice cream. We'll get some meatball stroganoff. I'll buy some of their frozen food to take home because you could buy these frozen. They had that little market pantry to shop for food on your way out. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, I think the boys would get like this pasta marinara with like garlic bread or something like that. So, yeah, I liked it. I miss IKEA. Not measuring. I want a lot of sauce to coat the pasta. So we're going to start off with that. That looks like enough for 2 cups. This is about a little more than 2 cups of water. Get those meatballs cooked. I mean, they were already cooked, but unfrozen. And then that'll mix with that, make the gravy. I'll taste it, see if it needs a little more. I'm just excited using this pot again. Cover it, keep the heat in so those meatballs could defrost. It's thawing out nicely. I'm going to put a little more bouillon. And I took my cornstarch out to make a slurry to thicken the sauce. Ooh, that almost got on me. The meatballs are still pretty frozen. Look at that. Looks like IKEA already. Put the lid back on. So I tasted it, and it's seasoned well. Not a watery gravy. I also have this little gravy master. Ugh. Yeah, what was I thinking? Just want to put a little bit Not even sure what this thing does. My mother-in-law always added it to gravy for Thanksgiving time. Just a little bit. And then we're going to make a slurry. So I have some water here. What was I thinking again? And cornstarch. Mix it up. And that will thicken the sauce. As it heats up, it'll get a little thicker. And if it doesn't, I need to add a little more. I remember watching my mom. She would make peppered steak. So this sliced thin beef, sauteed with peppers and onions. And then she would just make a brown gravy. And I remember watching her do the cornstarch slurry to thicken the gravy. And we would serve it on white rice. And that was as Asian as that house got. Let it sit there, and I'll check on it and see if it gets thicker. Okay, so it's boiling, but the gravy's still not very thick, so I made another slurry. Pouring that in. Meatballs are definitely not frozen now. And this sauce should get a little thicker now. And then I'll add the sour cream at the end. And then I have this one. This is not Le Creuset, QVC special. This one is waiting for the water to boil for the pasta. That is bubbling and that is on low. But this pot is so big that it really won't fit on the back burner. The pasta is almost done, the egg noodles, and I have green beans in my micro steamer. So I'm gonna add some sour cream. Let me turn this off. There you go. Sour cream. I need a little more. All right. Let me do that and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. That's what it looks like. A little creamier. See how the sauce is a little thicker. Tastes good. Green beans are done. And I have to drain that. And then dinner is, ooh, I want to get some parsley. And then dinner's ready. Chopped parsley on top. Dinner's ready to plate up. Smells good?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Smells good.
and there it is, plated up.
Must be separated.
My first time making meatball stroganoff. We used to buy them from IKEA. And that's dinner. So this whole time I was calling it like meatball stroganoff. It's Swedish meatballs. Swedish meatballs is what was at IKEA. They reminded me. And that's dinner. Hey guys. So tonight I'm making shells with this white cheddar and kale pesto pasta sauce that we got from Costco when I put it in my pantry and forgot about it. So we're going to try that today. And I have some crispy chicken strips in the oven. That's dinner tonight. Look at that. It's thick. I tasted it. Honestly, it tastes like broccoli to me. Like a broccoli cheddar. So I'm just heating that up and then I'm going to add the shells. Look at that. Ooh, Tastes good. And broccoli with garlic and butter. I filled this thing all the way to the top and it shrunk. Wow, look at that. The boys are really excited about this dinner. Ketchup!
For the chicken.
Not sponsored.
God, you're killing me. You're killing me. That's dinner. So dinner tonight, John's grilling some burgers and then these fries from... Thank you. These fries from Sprouts, the Alexia, I made those. So those are ready. Just waiting on the burgers. Here are the big buns from Costco. We like the bigger buns instead of small buns because the burgers don't fit in the small buns. Nice. And then a salad. Just a plain salad. And that's dinner. So there's my plate. I actually opened the pickled radishes. So one of the last times we had burgers, I had gotten this from the CSA and I finally opened it and I put it on my burger and actually tasted really, really good. I also have some mushrooms, leftover mushrooms from that mushroom tart I made, the mushrooms that didn't fit in the tart. So we just heated those up. But the pickled radishes, there's onions in them. So they give me that, they give a crunch, a little crunch when you bite into the burger, but they also add that flavor of like hot dog onions, which is really good. And then I made the mustard vinaigrette that I always just make. Olive oil, lemon juice, mustard, salt, pepper, a little bit of honey, and apple cider vinegar. And that's dinner. It's too early. It's not time for treats. You get treats at between 4:30 and 5 o'clock, Apollo. 4:04. If I give them to you now, you're going to come back at 5. I know you. I know you. He's sitting here like yelling at me. Right, Paulo? Right? Yeah. Hey, guys. So tonight's dinner, being that it's the first day of the CSA for the spring-summer season of 2020, although I did not get arugula, I like to eat something, with green in it. So I do have arugula in my backyard, and I have some sausages. So I am making something called Arugula Beany pasta. Now, Arugula Beany pasta is a recipe that was given to us by the CSA that I used to go to in New York called Hamlet Organic Gardens in Eastern Long Island and, middle Long Island. And it's abbreviated the HOG, H-O-G, because Hamlet Organic Garden. So when the arugula came out, this is a recipe that I tried, that they gave us, and I loved it. So I do have all the ingredients. You need half a cup. Oh, can't even read that. My goodness. 3/4 a cup of sun-dried tomatoes, some sausages, which is optional, so you could do this a vegetarian. A tablespoon of olive oil, 5 garlic cloves, so be prepared for the breath. 1/4 cup of balsamic, 1 can of cannellini beans, which I do have some white beans frozen, and a pound of arugula. I don't know if I'll be exactly putting a pound, but I'll be putting a lot of the arugula that I have in the backyard, and a pasta of your choice. So my beans are cooked, but they are frozen, which is fine. They kind of go in last, but I have to soak some sun-dried tomatoes in just enough warm water to cover, and then I have to set it aside. So I'm going to go get my sun-dried tomatoes and do that. So there's my sun-dried tomatoes. I had jarred them up because I probably got 1,000 of them from the CSA last year, but they do last well in your pantry. So I put them in a cup here, and then I'm going to add some warm water to soak them and soften them. So there, my sun-dried tomatoes are in warm water, and I'm going to start, I think these are still frozen. Oh, actually, no, they're not frozen. Oh, some of them are. So So yes, I'm going to slice those up and start cooking them on a skillet with a little bit of olive oil, like it said. And get that process going. So this dish is actually really, really good, hot or cold. I've actually served it at barbecues that we've had. So, you know, kind of room temperature, but it is such a good dish. And obviously, if you eat it the next day, all the flavors blend and it tastes even better. So let me start cooking that sausage. So I got my oil heating. There you go. I'm going to cook them whole because they come out prettier pieces when you slice them after they're cooked. So my water is boiling and we are going to make it with fusilli. I've made it with penne, but I don't have penne, so fusilli today. Picked a whole bunch of arugula and parsley from my garden. Sausages I pulled out and cut them and returned them to the pot. Now I'm going to dice up these sun-dried tomatoes and add them in with a little more olive oil. Okay. Add some olive oil. So if you have sun-dried tomatoes in oil, you don't have to soak them, obviously, because they're soft to cut. But because mine are really, really dried, I had to soak them. So add that, and let me get garlic. So I have more than 5 garlic cloves, because some of these are teeny tiny. And I'm gonna chop them up and throw them in. So I remember I was making this for one of Sean's birthday barbecues because he was born in July. So we were able to have barbecues for his birthday and my family was over. And my cousin was in the kitchen with me and she's like, "What are you doing? Add more garlic, add more garlic." So needless to say, we added a ton of garlic, but it was good. And if you don't like garlic, you can use onion to give it that extra flavor. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. Ooh, I can smell the garlic cooking already. It smells so good. Okay. Now I'm going to go get the balsamic vinegar. Smells good. So, wait, how much vinegar? Glasses. So vinegar, quarter cup. Okay, that's about 3 tablespoons. I'm just gonna eyeball it. So 1, 2, 3. And then that balsamic vinegar kind of just deglazes everything. I think it needs a little more olive oil so it can blend well with the garlic. Give it a garlicky, balsamic, vinaigrette taste. Go. Now we add the pasta. I have it over here. My beautiful spring onions and baby leeks. Now you add the pasta. And toss. And then, of course, when it's all done, you just top it with Parmesan cheese or Pecorino Romano if you were one of the lucky ones that got it from Costco. Look how nicely that comes together. Ooh, I can't wait to eat this. There we go. And now from the CSA, I have some beautiful basil back there. And then I picked some parsley from my garden and arugula. So I'm going to chop up the herbs and we're going to add the greens. And then top it with Parmesan cheese. And we are done. Turned it off because these are my power burners in the front. Now, I don't want it to burn. So now I'm going to add some of this beautiful arugula. And it's going to wilt and you just toss it. Some of these I have to cut. All right, let me cut some of them. Look at that. Look at it. God, it smells so good. I love, love, love arugula. And of course, if you don't have arugula, you can add kale, you can add Swiss chard, you can add spinach, radicchio. Oh my goodness. And then this arugula will just wilt, blend into the pasta. Let me cut up some of my herbs. I have a feeling the boys aren't going to eat this, but I mixed it up really nicely. Gonna top it with cheese. It's raining cheese. Ah, hallelujah. It's raining cheese. Toss that in. Look at me, look at me. Hey, as long as I could cook, I guess it doesn't matter if I can't bake, right? And then this is basil and parsley. It's raining herbs. Hallelujah. And voila. Dinner is done. I gotta clean up this mess.
The cats are looking straight down at something. So I come over and I look. It's the rabbit eating the apples that Tamara has left out. So there he is. There's the rabbit eating the apples. And here's these guys watching the rabbit with their tails going. Hysterical. Now they start making squeaky noises. All because of this little guy causing havoc. Another day at the Pearson compound.
So I thought I taped it. It didn't tape. In all my excitement, I forgot to add the white beans. So I had frozen white beans because I made a whole bag of dried white beans, separated them into frozen Ziplocs and froze them. And then I had to microwave it. Normally, you put it at the end anyway. Unfortunately, like I said, it didn't tape. There they are. There they are. One there and one there. So normally you would put them in, especially if they're frozen, before you add the pasta so that they just heat up, and then you add the pasta and then the arugula and then toss them in. So, but you'll see the recipe. I will attach it in the description below. But dinner's ready, so I'm going to plate it up. So there it is, plated. I have some Parmesan cheese to top on it because there's just never enough. But that's a meal in itself. You don't need to serve it with anything else other than red wine.
Or beer.
Anyway, or beer. Red wine's better. So anyway, that's dinner tonight. Enjoy.